Once upon a time, these two would have been considered head-to-head rivals, but the OnePlus has moved well away from that area of the market now, and it's just an out-and-out expensive flagship phone. Do you need to pay the extra though, or is a flagship killer in the Redmi K30 good enough? Let's compare the two. You can definitely see a difference in the design, the bezel sizes, and the screen is a really big difference on the front. The OnePlus 8 Pro has the highest quality and one of the most expensive screen panels in the industry, a Samsung AMOLED curved display, 120Hz Quad HD. That is a fully spec'd out screen. Whereas the K30 Pro, a lot of people were disappointed that it didn't even have 90Hz now. So is it really a big difference? Firstly, the colors, the quality of the displays is not a massive difference, although it is clear that you just get the best screen, I would say, in a smartphone on the OnePlus 8 Pro. It's right up there. Samsung Galaxy S20 series also has it, but it's just really top quality. If you're someone who doesn't game, doesn't really care about that, the K30 Pro screen is amazing and bezel-less, but it only has a 60Hz refresh rate. Is there a difference in gaming, and can I notice the difference? Absolutely, I can. 120Hz in those games like PUBG, any game that has a high refresh rate, it is absolutely noticeable over a 60Hz display, which feels clunky and not as smooth as those high refresh rates displays. So yes, there is a difference that I can notice. However, if you're just watching videos and scrolling through media, it is less noticeable. I don't think 120Hz when you're scrolling through Instagram is a real big difference. But yes, gaming certainly. When watching videos, not so much. Actually, the Redmi K30 got a bigger score in Antutu compared to the OnePlus 8 Pro, but they are within a few percentage points of each other. So in terms of performance, you're getting the same chipset, a very high performance, not too many differences there. On the spec sheet anyway, the Redmi K30 Pro has faster charging than the OnePlus 8 Pro at 33 watts versus 30. I actually found the OnePlus 8 Pro does charge quicker though. As we know, it's not just about the watts. I found the OnePlus 8 Pro does charge quicker. It also has wireless charging on there at 5 watts on the Qi standard, or if you buy their adapter, their charging brick, that will go up to 30 watts as well. Haptics is an area where the K30 Pro has really upped its game, and I would say it's flagship grade. You don't get that soft haptic feedback. It's a really good motor in there. It's a clicky motor, very strong as well, and I would say between them, not too much between the phones. This is an area where they are very similar, so the K30 Pro hasn't made a cheaper price by using a worse haptic motor this time. For audio, I would say the OnePlus 8 Pro takes it. You do get a stereo speaker system. It uses the top earpiece as a secondary speaker. On the K30 Pro, you just get a mono speaker at the bottom. So definitely richer sound with a stereo speaker system in the OnePlus 8 Pro. Even though the K30 Pro is cheaper and you get that 60Hz panel, which is getting beaten by those upper end flagship phones, it spent a lot of the money this year on the camera, and it's definitely not a bad camera system. You have the new Sony IMX686, which is a really good quality sensor, and you also get a 3x telephoto zoom as well. So it's actually not that different to the OnePlus 8 Pro's camera system. The biggest difference for me comes in the ultra-wide camera. OnePlus 8 Pro using the Sony IMX586 under its ultra-wide lens. It's a really good quality image sensor for an ultra-wide camera for sure. On the spec sheet anyway, you should see some differences in quality between the ultra-wide cameras, but let's just have a look at them. This is the main camera on both, and you can see the IMX686 that the Redmi K30 Pro is using is a really good quality sensor when teamed up with that flagship processor. Both have really good exposure in the foreground, and the dark part of the image in the background is exposed well too. If we zoom in on the dark part of the image, you can see actually detail is really good between them. The OnePlus 8 Pro does have a custom-made Sony image sensor, but the 686 that the Redmi K30 Pro is using, I think keeps up pretty well in this instance. When it does come to the ultra-wide though, I instantly notice a difference. I think the exposure is better on the OnePlus 8 Pro. The K30 Pro seems to be slightly overexposed in the tree area, slightly overexposed overall as well. I can definitely see a difference, and this may be the real quality difference showing between that more expensive ultra-wide camera on the OnePlus 8 Pro. The main image sensor on both though, fewer differences. I think both of these image sensors are really good, high quality, and definitely take some good looking images. Moving into the 3x telephoto zoom on the two phones, and I see some big differences here. Firstly, the sign, the colors, the blue colors, and also just on the right of the screen, the color of the background buildings. So I would say that the OnePlus 8 Pro is slightly more realistic and representative of the scene as it was in real life. However, I do believe that the exposure of the photo is slightly on the darker side, which is pushing up to give some more vibrant colors overall. You can definitely see that in the foreground of the image. The dark parts of the image are slightly brighter on the K30 Pro. They're slightly darker on the OnePlus 8 Pro. A really interesting photo. The K30 Pro just tried to brighten up those dark parts. The OnePlus 8 Pro kept them dark and kept some richer colors. The OnePlus 8 Pro is using HDR here. You can see the trees in the background have been brightened up. You get more detail in them, whereas they're just quite dark and you're losing some detail on the K30 Pro. I personally feel like my skin tones and my face looks a bit more natural on the OnePlus 8 Pro, whereas the beauty mode or the skin softening on the K30 Pro is just a little bit too aggressive for me personally. Both of the phones have optical image stabilization on the main lens, so it should create some more stable video. This is shooting in 4K. And then switching over to this scene, you can see some exposure differences. I'm just going to pause the video here. I feel like it's slightly underexposed on the K30 Pro, whereas the details in the bike's chassis are more noticeable on the OnePlus 8 Pro overall. Let me know what you think about the differences in video between the two phones though. I think you can get good results from the main cameras on both of them. Shooting video on the ultra-wide on the OnePlus 8 Pro definitely has some advantages. They can use HDR on that image sensor and it definitely helps the phone to expose those trees in a more light way. This is shooting video off the back cameras, but shooting my face so you can see what skin tones are like. If I just pause the video here, I would say that some skin softening and lightening is quite aggressive on the K30 Pro, slightly more natural on the OnePlus 8 Pro, but actually the OnePlus 8 Pro didn't get focus on my face, it's focusing on the background, so that's a miss for the OnePlus 8 there. Again, let me know your thoughts. Which one did it best in the comments, the K30 Pro or the OnePlus 8 Pro? So why is the OnePlus 8 Pro more expensive? A high quality ultra-wide camera and a top-end screen, plus wireless charging and the curved display. That's all expensive stuff that goes into flagship phones. If you don't think you need that, K30 Pro is an awesome phone. Subscribe for all the latest tech news and videos. That's it for now, but I'll see you in the next one.